Hello fellow coffee botherers, in this video I'm going to be comparing the Sage or Breville Bambino and Bambino Plus. I've done this before, but it was 3 years ago. I still get asked this question a lot, so I thought it was time to revisit the question, which I'm in an even better position to be able to do now, given that I've used both of these machines a lot over the past few years. What I'm hoping to do with this video is to help anyone who wanted a bit more in-depth info on either of these machines, and also to help anyone who was confused about which one of these to go for. We'll put the specs for both side by side on the screen so you can go through them while I talk through the key features for anyone who can't be bothered reading through them all, and of course for anyone with visual impairments. They're both very compact, both 35cm deep and 30.5cm tall. The Bambino is 16cm wide at the widest point, the front of the drip tray, 13.5cm wide everywhere else, and the Bambino Plus is 19.5cm wide at the widest part of the drip tray and 17cm wide everywhere else. They both have the Sage or Breville thermojet, so both super fast 3-second heat up time. Both have programmable volumetric shot buttons, factory preset PIDs, meaning an algorithmic temperature controller, an upgrade from a simple thermostat. Both have a fixed 93 degrees Celsius brew temperature, 54ml group and portafilter, and small drip trays. 1.9 litre water tank on the Bambino Plus versus 1.5 litres with the Bambino. Both have a Pro Steam wand, single hole tip for the Bambino, 4-hole tip for the Plus, ball jointed wand on the Bambino, and just a straight up and down for the Plus. The Bambino is manual steaming only, and the Plus is manual and auto. The Bambino has a hot water button for water via the steam wand. The Bambino Plus doesn't have a hot water button, but it does dispense hot water. You just pull out the steam wand, press and hold both the 1 cup shot button and the milk froth settings button for about half a second, and then press the 1 cup shot button again to stop. Coffee bean suitability. They both come with standard baskets and pressurised baskets, so you can use them either with mainstream supermarket beans via the pressurised dual wall baskets, or with freshly roasted beans using the standard single wall baskets. Just be aware that if you use mainstream brands, Illy, Lavazza, Starbucks and so on, this is what the dual walled pressurised baskets are for. The single walled standard baskets are really intended for more freshly roasted beans. If you do use these kind of beans with standard baskets, just keep in mind that you'll usually end up grinding very fine in order to slow the flow rate down to the 25 to 30 seconds that you'll probably be hearing about as a fairly universal shot time. So if you later switch to freshly roasted beans, you'll probably find that you need to make quite a big adjustment coarser. See this video that we did on this very topic. Roast levels. Just to be clear, I'm talking here about roast levels for freshly roasted beans. Starbucks Blonde Roast, for example, will be fine with these machines. There's quite a big difference between what mainstream brands mean and what small batch roasters mean when they're talking about roast levels. Both these machines are factory preset to 93 degrees or 199.4 degrees Fahrenheit brew temperature. They have a PID, PID, an algorithmic temperature controller rather than a more standard thermostat, and that's good in terms of temperature stability, but it's not an adjustable PID, so you can't change the brew temperature. 93 degrees Celsius is a pretty good one-size-fits-all brew temperature for medium dark to dark roasts. So this is fine for supermarket beans, regardless of the roast level or number, and it's fine for medium dark to dark roasted, freshly roasted beans. What this means is that these are really made for more classic espresso, using more traditional espresso roast profiles. So if you've tasted exciting, vibrant, tangy and interesting espresso from a light to medium roast, and you're looking for this isn't really what these machines are for. Can you use these for light to medium roast? Well, yeah, it's not impossible, but one of the ways you'd usually get yourself into a closer ballpark of being dialed in with lighter roasts is to increase the brew temperature. So not being able to up the brew temperature from 93 degrees does take away that very handy variable. They both have pre-infusion too, preset and manual, but you don't have a great deal of control over the pre-infusion during manual shots. All you can do is choose the pre-infusion time up to 10 seconds. So again, this does limit you to a certain degree when it comes to dialing in with light to medium roasts. Light to medium roasts are also more challenging where the grinder is concerned. If you're planning on pulling shots using light roast beans, you'll really want an adjustable PID so you can set the brew temperature higher, more flexibility over pre-infusion and a very capable grinder. Portafilters. Both machines feature the stubby spout 54ml portafilters. You'll hear some people saying that 58ml portafilters are best, and that's just people believing marketing blurb. 54mm is fine. In fact, arguably slimmer and taller pucks are more forgiving, less chance of channeling than wider, shorter pucks. If you don't believe me, check out Lance's thorough research on this, linked in the description. But the portafilters themselves are the main letdown for me of these machines versus all the other Sage or Breville machines. I think they're just a bit pants. But it's not a big deal. It's only really aesthetics and the fact that they don't tend to split the shot evenly if you're splitting a shot into 2 cups. So just start off with a pants portafilter, and then if you agree with me that they're pants, just upgrade it. There are loads of really good, proper, not pants portafilters that are compatible, a couple of which are from Sage or Breville, and I'll put links in the description. There'll be affiliate links, so if you buy using these links, you'll be supporting this channel. Why, thank you very much. And speaking of supporting the channel, did you know we now have memberships? For the ultra low price of just $1.99 a month, official Coffee Botherers get access to a members-only community, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, members shoutouts, priority comment replies, and fun emojis. If you're a member, stay till the end for the members shoutouts and revel in the fame. Races. We put the machines side by side on a 100-metre running track. That was really boring, but then we brought them back into the studio and put them head to head for various stuff, and here's the results. Ready time, 3 seconds for both. But be aware, all that's ready at this point is the tiny thermojet heater. Your machine isn't really ready at this point. Marketing departments aren't very practical. If you use a machine as soon as it heats up, a good part of the shot will end up extracting at a lower temperature. To be fair, if you're using dark roast supermarket beans with pressurised baskets, you might actually find that you get great results by pulling the shot literally as soon as you turn the machine on, or you might find it makes very little difference either way. If you're using the standard baskets and freshly roasted beans, I'd recommend doing a turbo flush with the portafilter locked in and your cup on the drip tray. Just slap the pressurised baskets in, pull a water-only shot, nothing in the basket. The basket pressure will mimic the pressure of pulling a shot, the water gets the proper contact time with the heater, and everything gets preheated, including the cup. Steam ready time, meaning how long it takes for the thermojet to heat up for steam. Bambino?
4
seconds. Bambino Plus?
4
seconds. Steam power, how long it takes to heat 170 ml of milk to 60 degrees Celsius after the heat up time. Bambino?
52
seconds. Bambino Plus?
40
seconds. Noise. They're both about the same where noise is concerned, about 50 to 55 decibels from 1 metre. Grinding beans, steaming milk, knocking out pucks is all louder than this anyway, so don't think the pump noise is really all that important. Vibrations. They're both vibration pump machines, and it's the pump creating the aforementioned 50 to 55 decibels while pulling shots, but this does create quite a lot of vibration on the drip tray, so you'll get a bit of cup walk, the cup wanting to shimmy itself off the drip tray. This is standard for most vibe pump machines. Just slap a silicone or rubber mat or coaster on the drip tray and that'll sort it. Hot water temperature. This is the same on both, about 70 to 75 degrees Celsius. Espresso temperature. You should find your shots are around the high 70s to low 80s with both machines in Celsius. This will change slightly from one shot to the next, mainly depending on the grind size and the resulting flow rate, but don't expect your shots to be 93 degrees Celsius. I've heard from a lot of people who think their machines are broken because they check the temperature of their espresso and it's not the same as the brew temperature. The brew temperature is the temperature of the water entering the group. The resulting espresso will be cooler than this, usually the high 70s. Milk steaming. As I've mentioned, the plus is
12
seconds faster at steaming the same volume of milk, thanks mainly to the steam tip, although I believe the firmware on each machine is partly to do with this too. The big difference though is the fact that the Plus has auto milk steaming. This is very convenient, and if you're someone who can't be arsed learning to get the knack of steaming milk, there really is a knack to it, then you'll probably want to go for the Plus. On the other hand, it's worth being aware that the presence of the auto steaming and the temperature sensor does mean there's a potential area for issues with the Plus that the Bambino doesn't have. One issue I do hear of occasionally with the Plus is milk sensor issues, resulting in all the lights flashing and the machine not being able to operate until fixed. And this is just the risk you'll always take when choosing a more advanced machine. They'll always have more componentry potentially to go wrong in the future. 3-way solenoid valve. The Bambino Plus has a 3-way solenoid. The Bambino doesn't. The Bambino and also the Duotemp Pro are Sage or Breville's only machines that don't have a 3-way solenoid valve. 3-way solenoid valves are regarded as good things for espresso machines for two main reasons. Firstly, they're responsible for instantly ejecting the excess moisture and pressure from the group after pulling the shot, which means drier pucks and being able to unlock the portafilter straight away even after choking the machine with too fine a grind without having to worry about portafilter snooze. Achoo! Bless you. Portafilter sneeze means either your espresso machine has hay fever, or it means the excess pressure built up in the basket after attempting to pull a shot with too fine a grind hasn't had time yet to exit the group. So when you unlock the portafilter, it can fire hot, wet coffee grounds all over the place. Secondly, 3-way solenoid valves allow the water to exit the shower screen more gently than spring valves, which are all or nothing and will allow water to exit the shower screen under higher pressure. I can completely understand why they've not put a 3-way valve in this machine though, and I actually think this is a good thing. In fact, it's a main reason I would go for the Bambino versus the Bambino Plus, personally, unless I really wanted the auto milk frothing. Because the firmware controls the pump power, having a spring valve instead of a 3-way valve doesn't cause higher pressure water to float from the shower screen, so that eliminates one of the drawbacks of a spring valve. The reason I think this is a good thing though is the teeny weeny drip tray. Solenoid valve machines fire the excess moisture from the group into the drip tray after each shot, and this is a small drip tray. Dealing with the excess moisture by having a slightly wetter puck means less trips to the sink with the very small drip tray. We're not talking about horrible soupy pucks, by the way, we're only talking about slightly wetter pucks than you usually get with the Bambino Plus. The solenoid valve on the Bambino Plus does mean you end up having to empty the drip tray more often. Yes, by the way, no solenoid means no back flushing, but it's not really the case that you can't back flush it, as I've heard some people saying, it's that you don't need to, as back flushing is mainly about cleaning the solenoid, and it doesn't have one. You can clean the shower screen at any time by wiping it or taking it out and giving it a soak. Back flushing is really about cleaning out the solenoid. Espresso Quality. These are essentially the same espresso machine where espresso is concerned. There's really nothing that separates them when it comes to espresso quality. And they're both capable of outstanding espresso quality as long as you do two things. Number 1, pair it with a capable grinder. Number 2, use the right coffee beans. The grinder is more important than the espresso machine. I do acknowledge that I'm oversimplifying things by saying that, but it's basically true, especially at the more entry level. In other words, if you pair a £400 grinder with a £100 espresso machine, you're likely to get much better espresso than if you flipped it the other way around. When it comes to coffee beans, as I've mentioned, these machines are really best suited to medium dark to dark roasts. You'll generally get better results with these machines and find things easier if you look for espresso blends and if you head away from medium towards medium dark, if we're talking about freshly roasted beans. If you're using mainly mainstream beans, Illy, Lavazza or any other brand of beans from the supermarket, that's all fine, but you'll be better off using the pressurised baskets rather than trying to dial in with the standard baskets. You don't have to, but you'll probably find things easier, and it's very unlikely that you'll notice any difference in the cup either way with these kind of beans. Speaking of coffee beans, this will probably be a good time to hear from our sponsor. This week's sponsor was supposed to be a new brand of invisible shoes, but they got cold feet. So our sponsor this week is me. My coffee beans from seaworks.co.uk are small, brown and bean shaped, so you'd be forgiven for thinking they're just like any other coffee beans, but they're really not. What makes them special, apart from the fact that they're so freshly roasted, usually on the day of dispatch, is that our range was literally created for you. Seaworks started in 2021 via a series of polls asking coffee blog readers exactly what they were looking for when it came to coffee beans. I then gave my readers exactly what they asked for, and we've continued along the same lines ever since. For example, we now have a monthly discovery coffee that includes a different guest bean, and when enough customers rave about the guests, we add it to the range, and that's exactly what happened recently with dark chocolate and hazelnut Brazil. Our beans aren't flavoured, by the way, they're just flavour notes. When I'm first tasting a new coffee, I'll try and figure out what very recognisable flavour the beans most remind me of, and then I'll use that for the name. If you want to try them, use a discount code YT25 for 25% off your first order at seaworks.co.uk. And if you're unsure about which to start with, I'd start out with Chocolate Brownie Blend. They're flipping mega. So which is best, Bambino or Bambino Plus? This is very simple. Do you want auto milk frothing? If you do, Bambino Plus. If you don't, Bambino. Boom.
Boom!
Boom! Like that. It's as simple as that for me. I've used both these machines a heck of a lot, and the only time I prefer the Plus is when I'm in a situation when I want to use the auto steam wand. That's literally the only noticeable benefit I've found versus a Bambino. Yes, the steam power is just slightly better on the Bambino Plus, but we're only talking a few seconds. It's really not going to make much difference to your workflow. Come and try it. And I've made this on the Ninja Lux Cafe Premier.
Here we go. Just tastes like vanilla-y iced coffee.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow!
Vanilla sweet cream foam iced coffee.
Bam.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's okay.
5 out of 10.
I was going to also hit 5 beans.
And then,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
now bugger off, get out me shop, you. Come in here showing me up. Thank you very much for watching, and a special thank you to all of the new channel members.
Thank you.
If you want to join in the fun, just click on the join button, which is down here by my right clog. If you enjoyed this video, drop us a like, it really helps. And if you want more coffee content, click on my face to subscribe. Tatty bye.